Before sunrise on a Tuesday, a number on a screen made a billionaire lose his words. Half a paycheck, gone, every 2 weeks. Not a rounding error, a choice. The woman behind that choice didn't own a boardroom. She owned a mop. Her name was Alma Reyes, 29 years old, night shift custodian at Sterling & Stone Capital, and the money she gave away, every single payday, went to a tiny non-profit called Lanterns for Learners. Thomas O'Neill from payroll noticed first. He called her in, blinking at the screen. "You do realize you're donating half your salary?" "Yes, sir," Alma said quietly. An hour later, the story reached the top floor. To Victor Sterling, the man who built an empire by keeping emotion out of every equation. That morning, Emotion walked into his office with a bucket and a broom. "Half your income?" he asked. "What do you live on?" Alma's answer was simple. "Enough. And I'd like a few kids to have more than that." Victor had never heard enough used as a philosophy. He stared at the payroll form again. It felt like a riddle money couldn't solve. To him, generosity without leverage was bad math. To her, leverage was the wrong word. "I'm not buying outcomes," she told him. "I'm planting chances." That night, Victor searched the name Lanterns for Learners. No branding, no glossy promises, just grainy photos of children holding used textbooks and a single line of text, lighting paths no one notices. Downstairs, while the city slept, Alma mopped the last stretch of marble. Her phone buzzed. A message from a student she'd been helping. "Jalen got in, scholarship approved." She smiled through tired eyes. Hope didn't need rest. The next day, Victor watched her on the security feed. No showmanship, no rush, just work. He called HR. Had she ever requested a raise? No, she'd declined 2 bonuses. Her reason? "I already have enough." At the weekly executive meeting, Victor did something unusual. He started with her story. "There's a custodian here who gives away half her paycheck," he said. "No publicity, no tax write-off, just belief." Silence. Then a dry voice across the table. "Belief doesn't move markets, Victor." Maybe not, he thought, but it might move people. A few nights later, he visited the small reading center Alma supported. Peeling paint, flickering lights, and joy. Children reading aloud, volunteers correcting softly. Reverend Lila Hart ran the place with second-hand chairs and first-rate hope. Victor watched Alma hand out notebooks like they were gold. When the crowd thinned, he approached her. "Let us match your donation," he said, quietly. She hesitated. "Only if it stays about them, not about us." Before she could leave, he added, "And one more thing. I want you to advise us. Tell us where money actually matters." "I clean floors," she said. "You speak impact," he replied. "We're fluent in everything but that." A day later, an email arrived in Alma's inbox. No sender name, no greeting, just 7 words. "Keep your charity where it belongs." The first crack of the storm. By noon, a finance blog published a headline. "CEO seen dining with custodial staff, Sterling going soft." By 6 p.m., an emergency board meeting. They called it a threat to optics. Victor called it a mirror. When the meeting ended, he sent a message to Alma. "Don't worry about the noise. Keep doing the work." The noise grew anyway. Photos leaked. Rumors twisted generosity into scandal. Then came her past, an eviction, a failed semester. Nothing criminal, just ammunition. Alma didn't respond online. She went to work, packed backpacks, delivered books. She let the truth speak in full sentences, not headlines. But the attacks turned physical. A car sideswiped hers late one night. Police said it was random. Fear said it wasn't. In a tense meeting with public relations staff, a consultant insisted they control the narrative. Victor shook his head. "We don't spin sincerity." Alma looked him in the eye. "If they want me quiet, I'll get louder by doing the work." And she did. Within weeks, 3 new pilot sites opened. Dozens of children joined tutoring programs. Hope, again, refused to sleep. Then came her countermove, a short video called Faces of Change. No scripts, no actors, just people. A single mother saying, "My daughter's report card has sunlight in it." A teenage boy. "The van kept me in books and out of trouble." A librarian. "We finally have Wi-Fi for the kids." And finally, Alma herself. "I've failed. I've learned. I've never stolen, and I won't apologize for caring." 10 million views in 24 hours. Donations doubled, and somewhere inside the old firm, someone panicked. One evening, a message reached Victor's inbox. From Audrey Pike, the daughter of his fiercest board rival. She had evidence, emails, memos, timelines, proof that the audit against Alma had been manufactured. 2 days later, journalists published everything. Headlines flipped overnight. Whistleblower exposes plot to destroy education fund. The investigation collapsed. The smear curdled into shame. While board members counted losses, Alma boarded a plane south to Riverbend, Mississippi, a place still healing from old wounds and closed schools. Reverend Lila warned her, "You're not just funding books. You're walking into history within a month." Threats returned. Graffiti on the new center's wall. "Go back." Windows shattered. A mural of linked hands defaced. Alma stood amid the wreckage and called the press. "This isn't vandalism," she said. "It's fear made visible." They thought breaking this wall would break us. We are not made of paint. We are made of purpose. She promised to reopen in 2 weeks, double the size with a digital learning lab and a new mural painted by the kids themselves. Volunteers poured in, teachers, retired carpenters, a librarian who drove from Oklahoma with boxes of books and cookies. Fear likes small rooms, but community breaks down the walls. On reopening day, the crowd cheered. Children ran their fingers along new shelves, and front and center hung a drawing by 10-year-old Ty Morris, a girl shielding a burning book with her body. At the bottom, she saved the stories. Back in New Avalon, the board voted on Victor's fate. 7-5 to remove him. He simply nodded. "You can keep the board," he said. "I'll keep my conscience." He left the skyscraper with nothing but a notebook and an old laptop. Above a barber shop in Harlem's Twin, he scrawled a sentence on a whiteboard. The starting line should not depend on your zip code. Together, he and Alma founded Horizon 47, named for 47 forgotten zip codes where hope still waited for a ride. No champagne launch, no red carpet, just an email blast that said, "We don't save. We partner." Soon, maps filled their walls. Detroit, Charleston, Omaha, Tucson Nation. And quietly, the work grew. Children learned to read. Parents learned to hope again. At a youth literacy summit, a little girl with puffed buns read aloud, "I used to think I was dumb, but I just needed the right story." The audience stood. Alma cried softly in the back row. Invitations came from city halls, from universities, even from UNESCO. Wherever she spoke, she said the same thing. "We don't just teach reading. We teach belonging years past." One night on a rooftop overlooking New Avalon, Victor asked, "Ever think about legacy?" Alma smiled. Legacy is a kid keeping a library card in their pocket like it's a key. And maybe that's the truth of it. Some people measure a life in headlines, others in holdings. But Alma Reyes measured hers in pages turned. She didn't make charity fashionable. She made dignity non-negotiable. Because sometimes the smallest act, a mop, a paycheck, a quiet choice, can rewrite the world's idea of what enough truly means.